Sharan, can you unmute yourself? I mean, he said that he got a message from you or saw your updates and he joined. So
Yes, I know. Yeah. So.
right. Hi, Mahesh. So
just to confirm to everybody, we are going live.
Yeah. So Mahesh, are you ready with your questions?
Yeah, sure, Juren.
Yeah. So some deep technicalities that we'll get from this webinar, and hope it benefits every one of us.
Yeah, sure.
So Vaishnavi, are you ready?
Yes.
All set. Can you come a little closer to the speaker so that your voice is...
Now it is proper?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so
yeah.
My name is Vaishnavi Gupta.
Sorry?
Hello?
Yeah, I'll just start the webinar, just maybe a minute or so, and then we'll start off. Yeah, hi, Sai.
Okay.
Hi, hi Vaishnavi. Hi Zulan.
Hi.
Hey, Julian, meanwhile, you can ask the audience if they have some expectations that they want to know as part of this session. So that's why, we don't need to be, all silent.
Yeah, of course. I mean, anybody has any thing that they know that they want to know, and some things that they want to share, or their expectations, as Srini said, please unmute yourself and let us know. One thing is that this is a knowledge sharing platform. So any knowledge that you want to share, that you know about this particular topic, please do share. Any takers? Sai, why don't you give your inputs?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a very good topic actually, the future of web applications, and also like we can say like mobile apps also. Like I think day by day, like the JavaScript is becoming more popular. Like whether it can be React JS or Angular JS or any JS technologies, and also it is becoming very easy to code instead of our complete generic programming languages like Java, .NET and all complete backend languages. So instead of that, we're using a single application for both the backend and front end. So I think it's a great topic. Like yeah, maybe Vaishnav can report that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vaishnavi will dig deep. And yeah, so with this, welcome all to this session of our Let Us Talk It webinar series. We are extremely happy that from June onwards, we have started this 3-day webinar, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesdays, it happens on from 5 to 6 EST, and Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 1 EST, 1 p.m. EST. So we are extremely excited about today's topic. Wednesdays days are will be generally technical topics. And so today we have the topic, the future of web apps through JavaScript, and JavaScript as powerful scripting language to develop complete web application, client and server both scripting. So, and to present this webinar, we have with us very young but very enthusiastic. I mean, I would say the girl whom the first day I spoke with her, she was like all excited and I felt like she is so excited. She talks only about technology, and to her knowledge, to her age, I would say that she knows a lot. And she is working as a senior software engineer, as a JavaScript full stack developer, and having hands-on experience as well, and on technologies like React, Redux, Angular, 6S, Node.js, and Express. And not only that she's so enthusiastic about technology, she has her hobby as painting, and she's an artist as well. And you can follow her on her Instagram handle, artsy_Vaishnavi. And she's also, no doubt, passionate about learning new technologies that come in the field of web application development and designing. So we are extremely happy to have you, Vaishnavi, and over to you.
Thank you, Julian. So, thank you, Julian. As Julian said, we are going to discuss about the future of web applications, web application as JavaScript. And so, why JavaScript? The question came in our mind: how it get? What is the evolution of JavaScript? From where it get evolved, and why we are using JavaScript as web applications? So, let's discuss about the things and how the JavaScript frameworks, uh, as how the JavaScript frameworks are there and how we are using those frameworks. Yeah. So how the what evolution of JavaScript? While JavaScript has proven as a powerful language, its frameworks have been a key part of its evolution and popularity. We will not discuss about more history about the JavaScript, but yes, before the Node.js, we have jQuery as its framework, where that's also a jQuery as a library, where it's also a collection of small functions that we're using directly in our application. But later on, as the Node.js came into the market, today we are using Node.js, and today Node.js serves as one of the most used server-side development technologies in the world, bring more dynamism to the JavaScript client-side focused nature. As single page applications had a huge impact on the modern web applications. As we all know about the single page applications, that how the applications are working. We have a hello. Uh, we have a single page applications. As in a single screen, whole application is getting loaded. We are using Backbone for it. It's Backbone is also one kind of framework that we are using that help push the prominence of the SPAs, with the Backbone developer being able to build single page applications easily. So there are so many frameworks that we are using in uh, uh, that we are using to develop web applications nowadays, but and Backbone is one of them. There are different frameworks having different kind of features that they are giving us to develop web applications. So let's discuss about them, but before that we should know what while JavaScript libraries and frameworks, what is the need of them? Why we are using libraries and framework? So for that, we need to realize that when we need complex manipulation of DOM, especially by fetching the data from a server and then update the DOM, it is fairly complicated. It is fairly complicated using tools like jQuery and plain vanilla JavaScript. Um, so what is DOM? DOM is document object model. Document object model um, is the model of our application. So if we will see about JavaScript application at the client side, so once the whole application is once the whole application is getting loaded, it will create its DOM, and when we are changing anything over it, then suppose we click a button, so DOM manipulations are happening. So for those DOM manipulations, for the complex applications, if we are talking about complex application, so it should be bit faster so that our application will be responded so fastly. That's where the JavaScript libraries and the frameworks shines. So here we came into the need of JavaScript libraries and frameworks, that they should work like they should manipulate the DOM fastly and easily. For our complex applications also, these things we can't do with the help of simple tools like jQuery and plain vanilla JavaScript. That's why we need JavaScript frameworks and libraries. So now um, we talked about web application. For a full-fledged web application, we need a structured way of approaching this. So previous only, we are using the approaches like model view controller approach, model view model approach, and model view whatever approach. And one more like the binding of model and the view with the use of controllers and the view of models. So there are different kind of approaches that we are using to develop our web applications in today's scenario. But we might have heard about the people mentioned about the Flux architecture and the Redux way of implementing the Reactor application.
Vaishnavi, may I ask you a question?
How we are doing this thing? Yes, yes, sure.
Yeah, so as far as the different models, I come from a background of mobile programming, which I'm very familiar with the MVC pattern, MVVM pattern. But as far as the model view, whatever, I'm not sure if you can go into more detail about that.
No, we are not going to go more detail about that. We are discussing about it how JavaScript frameworks are based over these approaches, and how at the end that how the architecture Flux architecture is dominate and get dominated, and it helps in more for DOM manipulation kind of thing.
Okay.
So these are the approaches that we are using for developing web application. But for JavaScript framework, we require faster DOM manipulation. As over here we mentioned that especially by fetching the data from the server and update the DOM, it's fairly means we need to do it as fast as possible to so that our application should respond easily. Um, are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay, um, so Flux architecture is a one week kind of architecture that we are using to develop the React application where in at a single place we are maintaining all the state of our application. So we will talk about it further in our further presentation. As we implement more and more complex application, we will begin to soon realize that there are some standard approaches or standard patterns that we use when we implement our applications and the standard set of functions that we frequently reuse within our application. So capturing the standard set of functionality in the collection of well-defined implementations of this behavior or functionality is what leads you into the developing of a software library. So this is what a software library is. As we have a set of complete functionality that's already implemented, we are using those functionalities, whereas in upcoming means in upcoming slide we are going to learn about what is a software framework and how it is different from a software library. A software framework is an abstraction which is the framework provide a set of generic functionality that we can use that we can use customized by implementing on the user defined code. So framework is a kind of already implemented application that we are gonna do that having a particular set of generic functionalities that we're customizing it according to our need. So one of the framework that is based on this kind of implementation and this kind of architecture um, is Angular. The Angular 2 plus all the frameworks are based over this kind of functionality. That's also having model view controller model that approach that they are using to build their complete application. But so we are little constrained about the specific framework. Okay, means it dictates a specific framework that we need to use this functionality only. Everything is defined and we are constrained about the things that okay, this is the functionality that is already defined that we need to use in our application and in our that application that we are developing. So if we are working with Angular 6 kind of framework, that's also JavaScript based of framework. If we are using Angular 6 for our framework, we are constrained about bit specifically that we have to use this this functionality, this generic functionality, and we have to follow the same pattern of developing the applications. So, but this again a question came up in our mind that how we need to choose like which application, which library for which application, which library will be suitable or which framework should be suitable. Like how we should know about the things that okay this particular framework is best that we should use this only or this library is best. There's nothing like this. Depending on what you are trying to accomplish, it's depending upon this thing only. Suppose we are gonna um, uh, to create a bulky application for some banking project or for some banking project that's having a lot of data that need to be displayed at a single time. So there is only little DOM manipulation will be there for creating some form or for creating something. But at a single time, each and every data should will come into our DOM. So we can use Angular kind of thing. But where somewhere we required some complex application that require continuous user interaction with the application. The DOM manipulation should be fast. So there somewhere it got failed. We are unable to create the application that's based on our desires, that okay, our application should be like this, we should not be constrained about the things. So there are some popular JS frameworks that includes React, Angular, Amber, Backbone, and Vue. So it's all depend upon the specific um, uh, that depend upon the specific application only, that which framework should be used. One on the other of these frameworks may be suitable for your specific use cases. That what I want to say about the things, that um, we navigate through the sea of frameworks and the libraries. So what we need to choose, it depending upon our use case only, that which technology will be best for developing that kind of application. So I just want to say, don't overreact. So React and React is a framework or a library. Again, it will come in our mind that so we discuss about this, that there are some popular React, there are some popular applications that sorry, there are some popular JS framework or libraries like React, Angular, Amber. As I already told you, Angular is a framework. And so what about React? What React actually is? React is a library or a framework. So what is React? React is a JavaScript library for building the user interfaces. It's a declarative library, and it's having component-based architecture. Technology stack is agnostic. Means whatever we are, a React application is a complete full-fledged application that's not having any constraint that for backend what we are using and how we are using. So it's clear. Means some people used to say React is looking like a framework, and when we are developing any application over React, it's looking like it's a framework, but in actual, it's a JavaScript library for building the user interfaces. It's having generalized some it's what to say. There are some methods that some functionalities that are already there, that we are using it again and again, and to develop our application. So what will JavaScript frameworks look like in next 10 years? Just to start off with, JavaScript will still matter in 2030. So JavaScript will be there. The boom in the serverless architecture, in the particular hue thread to Node, the Node is a big part of why JS enjoys such a prestige position. JavaScript will be there in 3030 also. Oh, sorry. JavaScript will be there in 2030 also. It's pretty sure about we are pretty sure about this because uh, Node is completely based on JavaScript, and Node is the thing that on the basis of what we can say that okay, JavaScript will be there. Over the JavaScript, we have so many evolutions like TypeScript also. Um, uh, Java with React, we are using JavaScript extension. But yeah, JavaScript is the base for each and every application that we are using. JavaScript, as we are using client side also for uh, uh, Ambos, sorry, for server side also we are start using the JavaScript for server side applications also. As initially the JavaScript was designed for client side only, but nowadays as it's start working with server-side app for server-side applications also. So it's a complete package of the things. So we can say that yeah, JavaScript will be there in next 10 years, and in 2030 also JavaScript will have its its root, it will be rooted still there inside our industry and in the application. That 10-year prediction is bit hard because um and 10-year prediction is something is violate as JavaScript are especially hard, because we know that before 10 years there is seems to be nothing like React and frameworks. So I would like to say where various JavaScript frameworks fought each other for the dominance, but React seems to have well and truly won the fight, as I suspect the 2020 are going to be more monolithic decade dominated by the smaller number of larger technologies. React, yeah, React came into the picture as to be more dominating, and we can't say that after 20 at we will see for 2030. Before 10 years there was nothing is known as React, and if we will see it came in 2012 only, and as Facebook developed it, so over the time period, it got evolved. We can't predict properly for after the 10 years what will happen. Maybe some technology will come that will completely like completely like changing the world. But yeah, as we are seeing in current, then JavaScript will be there. So React fought, and it's like truly win the fight. Why React truly win the fight? So why we are using React as for faster DOM manipulation? I have the answer for it, as React having its own virtual DOM. So virtual DOM is like React is creating another DOM over the actual DOM, and that DOM is getting manipulated. Suppose we clicked over the button, whatever the next is coming, only those things are changing in our actual DOM manipulation, not the complete DOM is getting updated again and again. This is how the React is working, and these applications are responding more fast. So this is how the React won the fight, and it's become easy and simpler to design and develop the applications with this. This is all, and I want to thank you. If any questions, then I would really love to answer those.
Yeah, thank you, Vaishnavi, for a very to the point session. So, anybody has any questions? Please unmute. Nobody has any questions? Okay, then I'll start calling names. Yeah, please.
Vaishnavi, that was a great presentation. Thank you so much. I just want to know, like, difference between the framework and the library.
Yeah, the framework is, as I told you, the framework is an abstraction in which framework provide a set of generic functionalities. Uh, Suppose we had an environment as in Angular, it's constant and specific about the framework that these are the things that will come from services. Means we have services that are talking with backend, that are talking with server. We are using those APIs directly. It's all defined. Everything is defined over there. We just need to use those things and get the things done. Whereas library is a set of functionality, a standard functionality that we can use, and we can use those behavior as again and again. So this is the main difference, that we are not constrained about the things that we have to do the things like this. In library we can use different functionality, already implemented functionalities in our application.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Hi Vaishnavi, Deepa here.
Yes, Deepa.
Thank you very much. It was a very nice presentation.
Thank you.
Vaishnavi, one query. Since you were talking that you're saying that we can use any framework. It need not be Angular or React. Is that my understanding correct, that we can go with any framework and it depends on our use, and it has there is no choice as to which one to use or which one is better?
Um, yes, it's depending upon our use case only, that which framework should be the best. As common upon the picture, as I told, Backbone is really good to use for SPA, for single page application development, for the small application. But if we want more and more DOM manipulation, we should use React. And if there is a heavy loaded application, means too much data is coming and we need to display, we can use Angular. So it's depending upon our use case only, that which type of applications we are developing. If we want lightweight, simple, and more user interactive application, we can use React. So it's just upon our use case.
Okay. So which one is the
Most
best?
of the applications, most of the our application is like more user
Hello?
interactive. As we all wish that our application should be more user interactive and more user specific. Too many, so many functionalities should be there if we are going to develop application like this. So React will be more fine for those things. But as suppose we have, that's why React is ahead in the race. But if we will see some banking application, we need to display assets of any bank or any information about the banking data. It's having its data over tons. Once it getting loaded in our page, it we just need to see the assets numbers and informations about the systems. So there we are using Angular, because we know need not require so many DOM manipulations. So yes, we can say as we need more user interactive application nowadays, it will be great. So that's why React is ahead in this race.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Vaishnavi, this is Sai. So that's a good,
Hi.
great presentation. So I just want to have one question, like, so like in continuation to Deepa's question. So can you precisely tell me, like, so since you know both AngularJS and React, so where to use Angular and where to use React, like precise, like uh, what type of applications use Angular?
Okay, we can say for heavyweight application that don't have much user interaction, we can use Angular. But if we have good functionalities, more user interactive applications, and simply easily loaded and fast responding applications, we can use React.
Oh, okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So any other question? Mahesh? Question or comments or something you learned or you knew? Okay, then maybe I can ask you a general question. It's live on the other social media platforms. So just a general question. What inspired you to come in the software industry or the computers? And I mean, for the general one, like, were you inspired or you liked it from the beginning, or how did it happen,
Uh,
Vaishnavi?
computer, yes, all machines are like we are seeing them. We are means we know that how the force is. If we will go for mechanical engineering or for something like those, we all know that okay, the machines are working like this. We are seeing them physically, but computers is like somewhere tricky, that how the applications are getting built, how the things are working. Okay, this is the website, how we are coding, means what is the code, how it works. It seems, if we will see from different means, from non-technical background, then it will be like, oh, it's bit magical. So I got attracted from that part only, and I start working and going into the things, and I found it to be more interesting. And I start looking towards the technology, as um, I love to design the things and I love to decorate the things. I become towards the front. I start working over those things. As I found after that, eventually I start working with the frameworks that we use to develop front end applications. And later on, my interest came in this way, and I just go with the flow with these applications and new technologies. And yes, that's why I love to um, learn new technologies and new frameworks that's coming into the market to develop web applications.
Okay, so it was completely your personal interest that drove you to this particular field, right? And just in continuation to that question, like those who are the young generation who are passing out from college, who are thinking of which field to take on, what would be your advice? Like, what do you think? Being, just, uh, you know, having
Yeah,
started your career very recently. So what would be your advice?
my advice is like just follow what you are liking, and just follow what you love to do. Means, as I love to develop the front end things and to designing the things. Later on, I came interest over cloud, and I found interest. I will say, give yourself a time, analyze the things where you are, where in which field you are like to work. Analyze the things, work in each and every field, work like managing also, work everywhere, and then see your interest, that where you are finding yourself more comfortable, and mm, more at the place where you can enjoy more. So go with that things. That
Okay.
technology, that may be a technology, that may be a thing that if you love to just want to manage the things, so you can go in that field also, where you are managing. And if you are just simply don't want to code much, you can go for maintenance kind of work for the applications. And yeah, it's upon your personal interest only, that one should choose what they want to do. They should find that where they are comfortable.
Right, right. So very true. Yeah. So find your likings and go with it.
Yeah,
So
thank
yeah,
you.
once more, any more question?
Yeah, thank you, Vaishnavi, for your professional time and knowledge sharing. Yeah, we have to keep doing more of these technical sessions and brainstormings to always, get ourselves ahead in the ever-changing technology era. So thank you all the audience.
I got a question for you, Vishnu. Over the past few years, websites have becoming more, they look more like applications, right? Let's say I'm using an iPhone. So if I go on Safari or whatever, that web page I'm viewing is starting to feel like a native application. At any time in the future, can you see JavaScript actually, developers actually just using JavaScript instead of using the native language to build the application?
Yeah, I'm seeing JavaScript like that only because there are the frameworks that are giving us cross-platform things. Means, suppose if we are as you are using iPhone and I'm using Android phone, JavaScript giving its framework as React Native. So if we are um, if we are creating an application over React Native, it will be a hybrid application, mobile application that will work over both of the things, means over iPhone also and over Android also. So JavaScript will be there, and developers will like to develop more the things over like this, over the JavaScript.
Okay.
So if there are no more questions, then we'll end this session. Thank you so much, Vaishnavi, for joining in and spending our time, being so patient, and that too at a very short notice that you agreed to do this. Thank you so much. And just for the attendees here, we would like to let you know that tomorrow again we have another webinar. And the topic for tomorrow's webinar is Interpret Black Box ML Models. And we would be joined by a lead data scientist. So tomorrow, Thursday, from 12 to 1 p.m. EST. So see you then tomorrow, and have a wonderful day today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.